Okay, so let's talk about Florida. Okay, so you end up leaving, right? Because of what? Can you talk about?
I had a warrant. I had a federal warrant. Not going to talk about what it was for because it's, unfortunately, that's, yeah, I just don't want to talk about that. But I had a warrant, and they ended up. I came to Florida, was here for about 9, 10 months, and then somebody ratted me out and told them where I was at. So they came, they got me. I went, and then I went through the whole fucking process and all of that shit, and then I was the case was dropped on me. The case was dropped on me, and I came back to Florida, and that's when things just started changing for me, and I was like, yo, I don't want to go through that shit again. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk, because that was real scary. It was some shit. It was something that me personally I didn't do, and I just.
How long was that process, though? How long was that process with the case and everything?
Almost 4 months.
Okay.
Almost 4 months. So I was away from my fam for like 4 months. But
let's say that was a year or so then, right? Because you were in, you got ratted on after being in Florida for 10 months, and then
like 9, 10 months.
Right. And then 4 months dealing with the case and everything. So you're away from the TS situation for over a year now.
Yeah, I already done went away from that shit, saying, for a minute. The communication has always been there during that time with me and Cuban, all the time. When Pun came to Florida, I remember when he came to Florida and should have do a show, and I was the first nigga they hit up. They were on the radio. I remember they were on the radio. They were sick. Where the fuck you at, too, yo, bro? And then all of that. So we always kept communication, always. I just dealt with my own thing. I never involved anybody with my problems. Never. I always dealt with it myself. You know what I'm saying? I always thought that, if you man, you got to be a man and deal with your shit. And
so you're seeing them start to experience success, but you're not jealous at all. Like, you're not like regretting your decision not to go.
Nah. I was good because when I started doing my thing and I reunited with my cousin here in Florida, everything popped off for me on my own music. You know what I'm saying? Doing my own thing with my music thing here in Orlando, Florida, and the music scene over here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna use your platform and give a shout out to a couple of people because they deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Because when we were rocking with the music and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? We had cats like the Headbangers, all these dudes. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of rappers, a lot of artists out here doing their thing. So big up to Streets. What's up, my dude? We never physically met. But what's going on? A real good dude and shit like that too. With the music out here in Florida, there was a and to this day, there's still a real big scene in Orlando, Florida, with music. There's a lot of good artists that came out of here. Smiles and South Star, all of these cats, you know what I'm saying, our people. So,
literally right before you said that, I was gonna say their name, like, because I remember that time period. I'm like them.
Yeah, but those are some real like those dudes right there. Man, those dudes are real good dudes, man. Real good dudes. Always did their thing with the music and everything like that. It's just I probably say people's names and groups wrong. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm talking about. But there was a big music scene out here, and then I got involved in that music scene because of my cousin. So my cousin was pretty to this day very respected, very very well known as a promoter. Just in business wise, when it comes to music, I used to do a lot of people's contracts here to do shows and everything for artists. Old school, very, he even worked for Pun in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that bring the first one to bring Pun to Virginia. He was the first person to do that. He was also running fucking Fat Joe's the whole internet street thing and all of that stuff, the whole fan club thing. Crazy. It's just so much history, so much things that, and it's crazy to stay in one subject because it just bounces around because there's so much energy coming from different places that involve different things. So you can't stay in one thing. I just can't stay in one thing. All I could do is tell, the real stories and shit like that happen. But let's go back with the whole thing with Joe. with Pun. He's the one that made it happen. You can't take that away. Joe knew that this was that would be a great opportunity, a great alleyway to, you know, Joe was very well known in the Bronx. Well,
Right.
everywhere in New York. Joe was very well known in the music scene and everything like that because he's made a lot of connections and a lot of friends in the music industry and everything. But when he heard Pun, he knew Pun. Joe knew what he heard.
Right. He knew what he
He knew
had.
what he heard. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you hear a ghost and you be like, yo, I know I heard that shit. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see it, but you heard that motherfucker. He
Right.
heard that motherfucker. And he was like, yo, this is the ticket.